Hi, this is November 17th, and this is your daily devotion. I'm in my basement for a reason that you'll see in a moment, but I want to start today's devotion with a question. What makes you angry? That question has been on my mind a lot. What makes you angry? I'd like to say that I don't get angry, but of course I do. Everybody gets angry. It's just that my personality tends to have a long fuse. It takes a while for me to express my anger externally. Except for one thing, and for some reason, this one thing brings out the worst in me about once or twice a year. And that's why I'm in the basement. I'm not quite ready to bring them up yet. Christmas tree lights. Christmas tree lights. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Christmas trees. I mean, it's like my favorite thing. I love Christmas. And I like having lots of beautiful lights on the trees. But what blows my fuse is when I spend hours putting lights that I've checked that work on the tree and even get decorations on, and it seems to happen every year, and I turn the lights on, ta-da, and then half of them go out. And now I've got to undecorate the tree, and I just don't have the patience. I don't have the patience to deal with that. Those lights should work. And I just have a little fit. I hate to admit it, but it will cause me to stomp my feet. And now that I know this about myself, it doesn't matter. I still get so mad at my Christmas tree lights. Recently, I had been at Stillwater's having a very good day, a wonderful work day, and the last thing at the end of the day was that I went up in the attic to bring down the Stillwater's Christmas trees. And on one of the Christmas trees, there were many, many lights that were on the tree. And I thought, well, I want this to be ready. Obviously, these lights are not going to work. And I will tell you, I did not even try to plug them in because they're old. I just don't deal with, I have thrown away many strands of lights because half of them didn't work. I just am not going to deal with that. They're cheap enough. Anyway. So I decided I'd take off the lights. There were many strands of lights on that tree. They were completely tangled on each other. They were completely tangled on every one of these little bendy branches. Were wrapped about 1,000 times with lights. And what I thought would take 5 minutes ended up taking 3 hours. I wanted to just pull the things off the tree. And the more I pulled, the tighter they got. And so I would try to unwrap, and then I'd have to follow them and unwrap again. And then I'd have to untangle them. And I thought, why am I taking so long to do this? And I thought, well, it has to be done. And then I thought, why is this making me so mad? And I thought, I don't know, Christmas tree. And I'm having this conversation with myself. I got some scissors and started cutting the lights, which wasn't easy because they were, wire. I was going to cut them off the tree, which didn't help at all because they were still wrapped around. Now I had to unwrap all these little pieces. Oh my goodness. But I was determined I would get those lights off that tree. And I did finally, hours later. And I was so delighted to throw those tangled, untested, maybe they all would have worked before I cut them apart, lights into the trash can. And I hope that all my lights work this year when I put them up on my tree. The chances are they won't. And chances are I will get really frustrated because I'll be tired because I'll be the only one that has been decorating the tree up until that point, and I'll stomp my feet. And do you know what Timothy will do? He usually has the shorter fuse. He'll come in and he'll laugh at me, and then he will very carefully follow the strand until he finds the offending light that's out, and he'll repair it, and they'll all come on, and then he will be my hero at that moment. What could I possibly learn from this? I've asked myself, why do Christmas tree lights bring out the worst in me? I don't know, but I started looking up in the Bible about anger, and there's a lot in the Bible about anger. Our anger, God's anger, our fear of God's anger, God's call and his prophet's call to us to be slow to anger, and one really kind of funny place, a person's anger, Jonah, at God, because God did not get angry enough at the people that Jonah thought God should be angry at. You know, God was certain that the Ninevites deserved God's wrath, and he was really angry enough to die because God was slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. And the Ninevites got a second chance. That is one of the beautiful statements about anger that we have all through the Bible. God is slow to anger and abounding in steadfast love. And then in many of the wisdom and other verses, we hear that we should be that way too. I don't know if that applies to Christmas tree lights, but certainly to people. The good news is, despite what Jonah and some of us and I sometimes think, we don't get what we deserve. Thanks be to God that that is the case. God is slow to anger because God loves us. We're sort of like Christmas tree lights. You know, we're in all these different strands, all different types. We get tangled in crossways of each other, all different colors and forms. At least half the time we refuse to shine, even though that's our job. But God doesn't cut us apart, destroy us, throw us in the trash. In fact, God lifts us up and says, "You're the light of the world. Now shine." In Matthew 5 we read, "You are the light of the world. A city built on a hill cannot be hidden. No one, after lighting a lamp, puts it under a bushel basket, but on a lampstand, or maybe even on a Christmas tree." That was my addition. "And it gives light to the whole house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, so that they may see your good works and give glory to your Father in heaven." So shine on, you crazy, tangled, colorful Christmas lights. Shine on.